Zebu, sometimes known as indicine cattle or humped cattle, is a subspecies of domestic cattle originating in South Asia. Zebu are characterized by a fatty hump on the shoulders, a large dewlap and sometimes drooping ears. They are well adapted to withstanding high temperatures, and are farmed throughout the tropical countries, both as pure Zebu and as hybrids with taurine cattle, the other main type of domestic cattle. Zebu are used as draught oxen, as dairy cattle and as beef cattle, as well as for byproducts such as hides and dung for fuel and manure. In 1999, researchers at Texas A&M University successfully cloned a Zebu. Taxonomy and Etymology. The scientific name of Zebu cattle was originally Bos indicus, but they are now more commonly classified within the species Bos taurus as Bos taurus indicus, together with taurine cattle and the extinct ancestor of both of them, the aurochs. Taurine cattle are descended from the Eurasian aurochs, while Zebu are descended from the Indian aurochs. Zebu may be either singular or plural, but Zebus is also an acceptable plural form. The Spanish name Cebu or Cebu is also present in a few English works. Origin. Zebu cattle are thought to be derived from Asian aurochs, sometimes regarded as a subspecies. Bos primigenius namadicus. Wild Asian aurochs disappeared during the time of the Indus Valley Civilization from its range in the Indus River Basin, and other parts of South Asia, possibly due to interbreeding with domestic Zebu and resultant fragmentation of wild populations due to loss of habitat. Archaeological evidence, including pictures on pottery and rocks, suggests that the species were present in Egypt around 2000 BC and were thought to be imported from the Near East to South. Bos indicus believed to have first appeared in sub-Saharan Africa between 700 and 1500 and were introduced to the Horn of Africa around 1000. Breeds and hybrids. There are some 75 known breeds of Zebu, split about evenly between African breeds and South Asian ones. The major Zebu cattle breeds of the world include Gyr, Cancre and Guzarat, Indo-Brazilian, Brahman, Nellore, Ongli, Sahiwal, Red Sindhi, Bhutan and Kenana, Boran, Bagara, Tharpaka, Kangaroo, Southern Yellow, Kadakalantan, and local Indian dairy. Other breeds of Zebu are quite local, like the Haryana of Haryana and eastern Punjab of the Rath of Alva in eastern Rajasthan. The African Sangha cattle breeds originated from hybridization of Zebu with indigenous African humpless cattle. They include the Africana, Red Fulani, Ankole Watusi, and many other breeds of Central and Southern Africa. Sangha cattle can be distinguished from pure Zebu by having smaller humps located farther forward on the animals. Zebu were imported to Africa over many hundreds of years and interbred with taurine cattle there. Genetic analysis of African cattle has found higher concentrations of Zebu genes all along the east coast of Africa, with especially pure cattle on the island of Madagascar, either implying that the method of dispersal was cattle transported by ship or alternatively, the Zebu may have reached East Africa via the coastal route much earlier and crossed over to Madagascar. Partial resistance to rinderpest led to another increase in the frequency of Zebu in Africa. Zebu, who can tolerate extreme heat, were imported into Brazil in the early 20th century and crossbred with Charolais cattle, a European taurine breed. The resulting breed, 63% Charolais and 37% Zebu, is called the Kankim. It has a better meat quality than the Zebu as well as better heat resistance than European cattle. The Zebu breeds used were primarily Indo-Brazilian with some Nellore and Guzarat. Many breeds are complex mixtures of the Zebu and various taurine types, and some also have Yak Gaur or Bantang genes. While Zebu are the common cattle in much of Asia, the cattle of Japan, Korea and Mongolia are taurine. Other species of cattle domesticated in parts of Asia include jack, gaur, banteng and water buffalo. Hanyu is a traditional Korean taurine Zebu hybrid breed. Characteristics: Zebu have humps on the shoulders, large dewlaps and droopy ears. They are adapted to the harsh environment of the tropics. Adaptations include resistance to disease and tolerance of intense heat, sun, and humidity. Reproduction: Zebu are generally mature enough to begin reproducing around 44 months old. This is based on the development of the bodies to withstand the strain of carrying and lactation. Early reproduction can place too much stress on the body and possibly shorten lifespans. Carrying time of the calf averages at 285 days depending on the age and nutrition of the mother. The sex of the calf may also affect the carrying time, as male calves are carried for a shorter period than females. Location, breed, body weight and season affect the overall health of the animal and in return may also affect the carrying period. Uses: Zebu are used as draught oxen, as dairy cattle and as beef cattle, as well as for byproducts such as hides, dung for fuel and manure, and bone for knife handles and the like. The quality of the meat is not highly regarded. In August 2007, the Zebu was described as notorious for its tough meat and poor eating quality after imported steaks served in restaurants of 2 British pub chains tested positive for Zebu genes. The Bos indicas commonly have low production of milk. They do not produce milk until maturation later in their lives and do not produce much, giving it solely to the calves. When Bos indicus is crossed with Bos taurus, production generally increases. In India, the Zebu is considered to represent Nandi, the sacred bull of Shiva.